Let's cross now to the studio where we are joined by Enes Bayrakli. He is a political researcher here. It was quite an amazing speech Erdogan just gave within the last hour, where he said that they will be purging. Turkey will be purging the homes where the members of the parallel state are living. They've also gone after the judiciary members he believes are complicit with Gülen's followers in the parallel state. And he says our American friends will return this head of terror from Pennsylvania to Turkey. So where that leaves you is to explain to an audience unfamiliar with this parallel state, who are the Gülenists? Why have they been such a thorn in the side of the Turkish government?
Yeah. Gülen movement is an existential threat to Turkish state and Turkish society, Turkish democracy. And Gülen movement is an extremely hypocritical religious movement which is using deception as a main method to infiltrate Turkish state institutions, judiciary, military, police forces, and etc.
Why? What do they want?
They want to create that was their main aim, to create a parallel state, what we call parallel state, a state within the state. And their long-term goal was to take over the government. And they wanted to control the government, and that was the main...
To what end, though? They are not a political party.
Yeah, it's a religious movement. They have and I want to come to this point. They have a certain understanding of Islam, and all the others who are not following this understanding of Islam, they consider as untrue, incorrect. And that's the really understanding of the Daesh, you know? Because in Islam we have so many different groups, different understandings of Islam, and everybody has to respect each other because this was the way in the Islamic world in the history. But the Gülen also, it's a messianic movement. You know, the followers are considering him as a messiah, and they are following him and they are loyal to him until the death. And that's why they are called also assassins in Turkey. Because of Hasan Sabbah, everybody knows about Hasan Sabbah. He lived in the 12th century, and his followers were so loyal to him, and he was sending them to assassinate people. But at the end, they were facing death.
Okay.
And today, last night, what we have faced in Turkey was showed that it's really a true. That they are assassins, because what they have done was crazy. They're bombarding the Turkish parliament, people with the planes, etc. And nobody really, it's so unreal,
It is surreal, and it's so difficult, though, to try and reconcile the fact that Fethullah Gülen was once a very close ally of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. In fact, many credited Gülen with helping bring the AK party to power. Now, they had a falling out. It's still not entirely clear how that happened, and
It's clear, because in a certain point, he said, look, from now on, I'm going to control the state. I'm going to appoint the certain bureaucrats, the intelligence chief, and at that time Erdogan said no, because he realized how dangerous became if he lets his followers to become so powerful. Because there are many groups in Turkey, many religious, social movements, other movements. They are all represented in all Turkish institutions, society, in academy, in judiciary. Okay, it's normal. However, after a certain point, if they follow a certain political goal, then it becomes dangerous, because, and that's what we have seen last night.
Okay, well, the United States, Erdogan wants to see him extradited immediately. Mm-hmm. The United States has, as I said before, kept a very hands-off attitude with this man. Mm-hmm. And it's important to recognize that not everybody has a negative impression of him outside of this country. He's considered a terrorist here. Outside of the country, many people view him as one of the world's best philanthropists. He runs an Islamic organization that runs some of the most effective charities and schools on the planet, which was another point Erdogan made in his speech. Take your children out of these schools. Yeah. Okay? And now Gülen is saying that this coup was actually staged. So it's going to be difficult to convince the international community that this man, who is seen as the ultimate philanthropist by many Muslim followers, many of his followers, is actually the terrorist that Erdogan defines him as, and needs to be extradited to Turkey, where he's safely embedded in the United States. He needs to be extradited here to face trial.
Let's face it, this man, he's a lying machine. literally. He's a lying machine. And there was an article in the Jerusalem Post 2 days ago, and he was described as a wolf in a sheep clothing. And he is writing certain things in Turkish, but what he is saying in English is totally different. So he has a hidden agenda, and if you read his writing, there are lots of anti-Semitic, let's say, statements in his statements, but in the United States, he represents one of the biggest supporters of Israel and the Jewish people.
Do you think the U.S. will be convinced?
I mean, when the Turkish government, provide the proofs of the lines events, the United States has no other option, because we are allies with the United States for about 50 years, and we are strategic allies. And what happened last night, nobody can accept in Turkey, and the United States has to cooperate with Turkey, because this is not acceptable. This is not the act of a friendly state. This is an act of enemy state. That's what the Prime Minister said.
Okay, Enes, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for sharing your insight.